I think NBA YoungBoy might be the biggest rapper. I said that 5 years ago.
What you mean big when you say big?
Ain't no nigga gonna be bigger than NBA YoungBoy. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
He the biggest YouTube artist right now in the world. And he behind the wall. You hear me? But I'm just saying, when that little boy get his mind right and he come from under this bullshit and understand who he is, cause you know, Thug and all them, they up in age. They 30, this nigga 20.
But you think that shit he going through ain't doing that but helping him to his path to do that though?
Of course.
Yeah.
We put a nigga behind the wall, they become smart.
Yeah.
They ain't making him nothing but a monster.
Yeah.
So when he come out here, he know one thing. The shit he was doing, he ain't got to do because he could get this little nigga here, bro. Big money right there, brother. I think he's a $1 billion nigga. Bro, he's a $1 billion nigga in flesh. Feel a little gangster. And he laid back. And talent-wise, when I see him in the studio, he remind me like young Thug. When Thug was young, you hear me? It's just modern time. When Thug was young, we knew he was gonna be a star.
Right.
Mm-hmm. He 20 years old. We know this little nigga, and the game is more plentiful now than it was when Thug started. I've been working with Thug 10 years now. Mm-hmm. Thug 30. NBA YoungBoy, 20 years old. And there's more money in the game now than it was when Thug had started. Even though Thug did a lot, but there's more money in the game now for a young nigga like that.
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry.
They be damn near fighting every night. Hey, bro, chill out with that shit.
I heard Boston was a little crazy last night. I heard
niggas be fighting damn near every night. Hey, bro, y'all chill out, blah.
Man, this shit watered out, man. The fuck, man? Man, this shit too watered out, bro.
I see it's watered down. I'm finna come, though.
This shit too watered out, son. Nephew, this shit too watered out.
I'm finna come.
You gotta save hip-hop, bro.
At some point, every artist realizes the difference between someone who believes in you and someone who benefits from you. For NBA YoungBoy, that realization didn't come quietly. It came in the form of a 6-minute confession that felt less like a song and more like a breakdown. And when people finally listened closely, they realized this wasn't just about business gone wrong. This was about trust, family, and a pattern that hip-hop has seen before, but never fully confronted. When NBA YoungBoy released Tears of War, the internet immediately treated it like another diss record, another industry beef, another rapper upset about money. But that surface-level take missed the entire point. This wasn't anger, this was heartbreak, the kind that only comes when someone you trusted like blood shows you they were always counting dollars first. The date matters. June 9th, 2024. YoungBoy was under house arrest in Utah, dealing with heavy federal pressure, uncertainty about his future, and the kind of isolation that forces you to think clearly for the first time. No touring, no distractions, no fake love, just time. And in that silence, everything he had ignored finally caught up to him. But this story didn't start in 2024. It started years earlier when YoungBoy was still climbing, still volatile, still dangerous to himself and to any label that signed him. Around 2018, he was one of the most streamed young artists in the country, but also one of the most unpredictable. Arrests, shootings, court dates. Atlantic Records didn't know what to do with him. They had talent they couldn't control. That's when Birdman stepped in. In hip-hop, Birdman doesn't just represent success. He represents survival. He built Cash Money from nothing into a billion-dollar empire. He discovered legends. He turned teenagers into icons. His reputation wasn't just business, it was mythology. So when someone like Birdman approaches you, it doesn't feel like a deal. It feels like destiny. But Birdman didn't approach YoungBoy like a label executive. He approached him like family. He didn't talk contracts first. He talked guidance, protection, loyalty. He positioned himself as someone who understood YoungBoy's pain, his anger, his background. He sold the idea that YoungBoy wasn't just another artist. He was the future. He was special. He was worth saving. For a young man from Baton Rouge who had already lost people close to him, survived attempts on his life, and grown up without stability, that mattered more than money. Birdman wasn't offering a check. He was offering belonging. And the pitch worked. Their early collaborations showed chemistry. When they announced from the Bayou, it looked like a symbolic passing of the torch. Louisiana royalty linking generations. Birdman publicly defended YoungBoy, praised him, hyped him as the next great. On the outside, it looked like a dream partnership, but behind the scenes, something felt off. The album kept getting delayed. When it finally dropped in late 2021, fans noticed something immediately. It sounded like a YoungBoy album with Birdman's name attached, not a true collaboration. Birdman's presence was minimal. YoungBoy carried the weight, yet Birdman was credited across the project, which meant he was getting paid off work he barely touched. At the time, most people didn't question it. That's how the industry works, right? But there was one person who saw this coming long before it happened: Lil Wayne. Years earlier, Wayne had lived this exact story. Same mentor. Same father-son bond. Same promises. Same silence when money came into question. Wayne called Birdman his father. They had tattoos, public affection, private loyalty, until Wayne realized his albums were being delayed, his royalties withheld, and his career controlled. Wayne sued Birdman and Cash Money for $51 million. The lawsuit exposed years of unpaid earnings and manipulation. The man Wayne loved like family was allegedly keeping him locked in place financially while benefiting from his work. And Wayne tried to warn YoungBoy. On a track years later, Wayne dropped a line telling YoungBoy to watch out for the old head. It wasn't lyrical filler. It was a warning disguised as a bar, a vet trying to stop history from repeating itself. But when you're young and everything feels aligned, warnings sound like jealousy or misunderstanding. YoungBoy trusted Birdman. He believed him. And that trust blinded him to signs he should have questioned. Then the industry revealed something that changed everything. Atlantic Records didn't fight to keep YoungBoy. They handed him off. Quietly. When his legal issues started piling up, Atlantic saw risk. Birdman saw opportunity. According to industry insiders and Birdman's own words, he essentially got YoungBoy for free. That moment matters. In interviews, Birdman bragged that he would have paid $10 to $20 million for YoungBoy, but Atlantic gave him away. And the way he spoke about it wasn't emotional, it was transactional. Like a businessman celebrating a bargain. That's when the illusion started cracking, because you don't talk about family like assets. You don't celebrate getting your son for free. You don't describe loyalty in numbers. YoungBoy started noticing the disconnect. The promises didn't match the reality. The love didn't feel unconditional anymore. When things were good, Birdman was present. When things got heavy, he wasn't. And then everything collapsed at once. In early 2024, federal pressure intensified. YoungBoy's house in Utah was raided. Charges loomed. His freedom was uncertain. This was the moment when real support mattered most. This was when a father figure should show up without cameras, without contracts, without conditions. And Birdman wasn't there. That absence hurt more than any financial issue ever could. Because money disputes can be negotiated. Betrayal can't. That's when YoungBoy recorded Tears of War. Not as a diss, not as a threat, as a confession. He spoke about feeling used, about being manipulated emotionally, about trusting someone who never truly had his back. He admitted he should have listened to Wayne. That line hit especially hard because it wasn't angry. It was regretful. In a culture where admitting you were played is seen as weakness, YoungBoy did it anyway. He exposed his vulnerability publicly. He let fans hear his pain, not his ego. And that's what shook people. This wasn't rap drama. This was a young man realizing that the person he trusted most in the industry may have been running the same game all along, selling family while prioritizing control, using mentorship as leverage. Birdman didn't respond. And that silence said more than any diss ever could. In hip-hop, silence after accusations usually means one of two things. Either the claims are so false they don't deserve oxygen, or they're close enough to the truth that responding would only make things worse. Fans split immediately. Some praised YoungBoy for speaking up. Others defended Birdman, pointing to the careers he helped build. But the conversation shifted. People started revisiting Wayne's story, connecting dots, asking uncomfortable questions. How many young artists were emotionally locked into deals they didn't fully understand? How many were sold family when what they really got was control? How many were too loyal to question the numbers? This wasn't just about Birdman, it was about the system. The music industry has always thrived on imbalance. Young talent, old power, hunger on one side, knowledge on the other. And when you mix trauma with opportunity, manipulation becomes easy. YoungBoy's story resonated because it exposed how exploitation doesn't always look evil. Sometimes it looks like guidance, like protection, like love. And just when people thought this story was done, something unexpected happened. In 2025, YoungBoy and Birdman reconciled. Publicly, they squashed their issues, appeared together. Birdman even joined YoungBoy on tour. Some fans saw growth, healing, maturity. Others felt uneasy, like they were watching a cycle reset instead of end. Because reconciliation doesn't erase patterns, and history doesn't forget easily. Maybe Birdman changed. Maybe conversations happened behind closed doors that we'll never know about. Or maybe YoungBoy, tired of conflict and isolation, chose peace over resistance. Both things can be true, but what Tears of War already did can't be undone. It pulled the curtain back. It forced a conversation the culture avoids. It reminded young artists that mentorship without transparency is dangerous, that loyalty without clarity costs more than money. At the end of the day, this isn't about picking sides. It's about awareness. YoungBoy's story is a warning. Not every person who calls you family wants you to win equally. Not every mentor is invested in your future more than their control. And not every opportunity comes without a price. The industry hasn't changed, but artists are learning faster. And that might be the most important part of this entire story. What do you think? Was the reconciliation genuine, or just another chapter in a long cycle? Did YoungBoy do the right thing by speaking up? Or should he have kept it private? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this breakdown gave you a deeper look at how industry power really works, hit that like button and subscribe, because stories like this don't end when the music stops.